Welcome to Monkey Chatter. Monkey Chatter is a podcast by three great friends who have different perspectives on all things wellness. So let's jump right into today's topic.
Welcome to Monkey Chatter. This is Lara, and I'm here with Amy and Michelle. And today we are going to dive into a topic that we just feel like we are being bombarded with everywhere we look. And it's all over social media. It's all over the news. There's a lot of commercials on TV about it. And that is the impacts of gut health. And we were really excited to talk about it because it goes right along with our whole wellness angle. And then, we realized that we all three come from a very different kind of wellness background. And so each of us had a completely different take on gut health and how to combat it, even though we all agreed with the others' perspectives. So we thought what we would do today would be part one. We'll discuss the whole barrage of gut health information that's out there. We'll talk about some books. There's even a Netflix series we're going to throw out there. And then for part two, we're going to attempt to at least try to get through this books and watch this documentary and try to get ourselves a little bit more educated and then hopefully bring the best takeaways back to you guys in part two. So that is our goal. And I guess just as a quick overview is when we first started talking about gut health, from my perspective, I was seeing all the stuff about the the biome, right? The gut biome and how it's like kind of a delicate thing. And once you get it right, you don't want to mess with it because then that causes you to be irregular or have upset stomachs or IBS, constipation. So there were all these things that would happen to you. And then the more we started talking about well, how do you combat that? And, there's some really simple things you can do. But then it looks like gut health is not only related to what you eat, but also your levels of stress. So if you're eating really healthy, but you're super stressed out all the time, your gut biome might not be right, or you might have leaky gut and all these things that kept coming up. What is leaky gut? Who knows, right? So, and then we even talked about the idea that Michelle brought up, which was what is your intuition gut? When we say we're listening to our gut, we feel it in our gut. You get butterflies, you get an upset stomach when you're nervous. What does all this mean? And it is a big buzzword right now. So we're going to dive in. And who wants to go first, monkeys?
Go ahead, Michelle. You had lots of questions before, I think.
I think since we're throwing some questions out in this episode, I think that would be good because Michelle's always the curious monkey. And she has a lot of interesting kind of ways that she's thinking
That's
about
really,
gut health.
really nice way to, yeah.
Yeah, mine's boring. Mine's just eat fruits and vegetables. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but Michelle had some good questions.
So I kind of think about this from, as Lara, as you were talking, I was thinking, wow, so from two perspectives, right? So this whole gut thing, I've always been super fortunate. I've never had gut issues, and I've always been able to eat whatever the heck I wanted. I never gave it a thought, right? And then I remember I forget even who it was with, but I was working with somebody on my diet or whatever, and they were like, well, you really need to, do this protocol or do that protocol or take a probiotic or, do something. And I remember thinking, why? I can literally eat anything. I'm surrounded by all these people who have all these issues. I have none of those. So that's sort of my first question is how do you know if you don't have any symptoms of anything, should you be taking a probiotic? Should you be trying to do all these things to change it up? So I just want to leave that there as one question I have. If you're fine and you're going regularly, right? You're like a once a day, regular as clockwork kind of person. You can eat whatever you want. You don't get upset stomachs. You don't have any of those issues. But I remember talking to people, they're like, "Oh, when I travel, I can't go." And I'm
I
like,
have, I
"Oh,
have heard that
yeah."
before from a lot of people, actually.
And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I don't have that problem." Like, I just have never had any of these issues. So, so that's sort of my first question. Like, is there any reason to be doing something different if you're fine? So I'll just throw that out there. I will say I did run into a little trouble after some surgery, which I think they say is common when you're
Hmm.
on some of these pain meds. And so I got a little, when you are somebody who's super regular and you never have to worry about that, and then all of a sudden you do, that is like really unsettling. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, "Oh my god, like this is terrible." And so um, the functional medicine professional that I was seeing had me start taking a probiotic in the morning that was, you mixed with water and you just drank it before you did anything else. And that did get me like back on track. So I will say that really did work. Another question, so you could put this on my question sheet, is so once you get yourself sorted out, and you've been taking a probiotic, is it okay to stop them? Like if you were fine before, had an issue, took your probiotic, got everything sorted out, is it okay to stop? Or should you just keep taking them? Because, like, those are kind of the things that, there's so much out there. You could spend your so much money on supplements and all kinds of things. And so that's one of my questions is, how do you know that you really should be spending your money there? How do you know if it's a good probiotic versus just tag dressing? Or, there's so many different strains. Like, is this the right strain for me? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, that and like, is it live or not? Like, I've heard that too. Like, it needs to be a live bacteria strain, or it's not going to do you any good. Like, I've heard so many back and forth things about probiotics. I've had nutrition people tell me don't buy the over the counter ones because they don't really do anything. And then I've had doctors say, yeah, after you take antibiotics, you should be taking the
mm,
over the counter, probiotics. So, and and like for a long time, I was like, what's a prebiotic as opposed to a probiotic? We should know that being in former horse feed people.
Former?
yeah,
There's
Well,
still
yeah,
two of us.
well, we're
I'm
so,
former. You guys are
well,
current.
I was like, wait, farmer?
and I do have to say, that's really a little bit part of the problem is like, I feel like I know more than the average human about probiotics and prebiotics and all of that and how they work in horses,
This is,
right? So
mm,
the language, I have a little bit of, knowledge around that, but that almost makes it a little harder sometimes because what is that saying? Just enough to be dangerous, um, right? So I'm always sort of extra cautious with like, okay, so I should be, is this a prebiotic and a probiotic? Is this, it makes you have more questions, right? Because you know that there are multiple strains, you know that there are differences in quality and quantity. But man, yeah, so that, I'll leave that. And Amy, do you want to weigh in on any of that? Like, you have more of like the human nutrition side than either Lara
yeah.
and I.
So by no stretch am I an expert at any of this, but my general thing for myself and for people I work with is I feel like you are much better off to work with your diet versus trying to figure out like this supplement or that supplement and this probiotic because one, supplements just are not regulated like, like food is. Um, Two, how do you know? I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands of different strains. So how do you know? Three, even if whatever, some research study says that, oh, this one is the best one or that one is like, how do you know that that's the best one for you?
Yeah.
And we talk about this in horses. Like, okay, so if you take a test and you figure out what all the gut bugs are that are in there, like, how do you know what your normal is? So how do you know what to try to fix if you don't know what your normal is? And your normal, like the three of us, our quote unquote normals are going to be
totally different.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and you guys know that I really do try to keep with the like, keep it simple method and try to do as much with just real food as possible. And again, by no stretch am I a doctor or an expert, but I do just think that the people that try to shove, no pun intended, try to shove probiotics down your throat, like that you have to take a probiotic, that you know, a lot of times those people are selling something that they want you to buy. So that's my take on it. And again, not saying that there isn't maybe a time and a place for them, but I think for the average person, we can probably do a whole lot, make a bigger impact on our health just by figuring out our diets a little bit more versus trying to, I was going to say top dress a supplement. I'm getting the horses and the humans, the horses and the humans confused here. So that's, again, my take.
Well, and from a nutrition standpoint, isn't like the fiber is the prebiotic? That's what in nature, prebiotics are the fiber because they're what feed the good bacteria.
And that's the thing. So I did do a little bit of, you know, research for this, not enough, again, to really speak super intelligently on here to like actually put information out. But that is one of the big things. And I run into this a lot, quite honestly, with myself too, and with clients, is a lot of people just aren't getting the recommended amount of fiber. And like for females, let's say we're between 25 and 30 grams. Males tend to be a little bit higher. I think the USDA, I wrote down their recommendations. Their females are 25 grams per day and males are 38 grams per day. And then once you hit 50, females are 21 grams per day and males are 30 grams per day.
Wow. So wait, that's interesting to me.
That's USDA.
But why
guidelines.
do they lower it when we hit 50? I feel like we could use more fiber the older we get.
Yeah. And that is something that I actually need to dig into because I had that question too. And again,
they're probably in cahoots with big pharmacy.
I don't know. But then I did a little bit more and I found that only 5% of men and 9% of women in the US are getting enough fiber.
Okay, so here's my question,
Wow.
Aim. So if you want to add more fiber to your diet, what are the easy things to do it with?
The standard fruits and vegetables.
But like how much? So, and don't tell me grams because that's not going to help me. That's like telling me east and west. Like,
like a cup or
right,
2 cups.
So I mean,
an example of what that looks like in a day for you.
Like it will definitely, obviously, depend on the fruit or vegetable that you're doing. But let's just, and I certainly do not have this stuff memorized. But let's just put in like, I'm just going to put a banana in because I know.
I was going to say, can I give you my morning shake that I like to make most mornings, and you can see if it's
how much fiber that's
fiber.
Okay.
Because like I feel like it's so healthy to start my day with, but it's basically like a half a cup of frozen mango. And
so we probably, I don't know that maybe we should post this because I feel like this is going to be like,
if we could like come up with, okay, how much fiber is actually in that thing?
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. I just didn't want to like take up a bunch of time on here, but, okay. So what, I know, I guess it is. So what is it?
Go do something.
How much fiber is in a cup of spinach?
So mango. Oh, I typed in mango. Let's do mango. What's mango?
Half a cup of mango.
Okay. Half a cup. See, and I'm going to have to change everything in here because I do everything based on grams because.
Sorry. Yeah. See, I think this is fun.
It's all right. Just because, just like in horses, you're half a cup and my half a cup. Yeah. But I am a nerd like that, and I literally have a kitchen scale. So, all right. One crapperoonies. And of course, it's not.
And
Oh,
we can
here we
always
go.
edit some of this lookup time out.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna
can.
say.
Not we.
All right, so half a cup of mango.
Yeah. Oh,
What else?
a cup of spinach. I thought you were going to look
Okay.
it up ingredient by
Oh
ingredient.
no, I'm putting it all in, so it'll just calculate the whole thing.
Oh, that's so cool. I want one of those. Okay, so.
It's my Fitness Pal.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have one of those.
I use that a lot.
All right,
Okay,
so
a cup of
a
spinach.
cup, not 50 cups.
No.
Okay.
A tablespoon of flax chia seed mix.
So like a half a tablespoon of each?
It's mixed up together,
Oh,
so I don't really know.
all right.
I buy it mixed up.
All right. And again,
Yeah, I know. There's always going to be little differences. But
not
you probably
going to be
just go with flax. It's probably not much different. Or chia,
right.
maybe half chia.
Yep, I'm just going to do a half a tablespoon of each.
Yeah.
All right.
And then about a cup of orange juice with pulp.
Okay.
Organic, if I can find it. And it doesn't cost $8.
Orange juice with pulp. Okay. How much of that?
About a cup.
Oh,
A cup.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're right. I don't measure it. I mean, I do eyeball it.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So based on that is doom, doom, doom. Hold please. You want to take a guess?
Oh, take a guess. How much fiber would
This
that be?
seems, I'm going to have to look this up. I'm not sure. We may have to cut.
I bet it's pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
I was
bet
going to
it's
guess
like 7 grams.
9. I was going to say 9 grams of fiber.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's super. So that's one meal, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So if that kind of a breakfast is 4, I can only imagine what some of the crappy breakfast stuff that people really eat would be.
Yeah.
Some of it could be way less. And some of it might be higher, like if you eat a really high fiber cereal, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have to say, when I was talking about this earlier, my last attempt to work with somebody on my nutrition, at which they always fail miserably. Not them, me. But that was the focus, was fiber. Like, we need to get more fiber. And that was one of the things that did surprise me, is how little fiber there actually is in things that you think are high in fiber, right? Like, so that was an eye opener to me. I was like, because you think, oh, well, I'm doing like all these high fiber foods, but you'd have to eat like, a bucket of spinach to
Yeah, because it's so.
you're like, who's doing that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes it hard to get all that. And I found that didn't work well for me. So, back to the drawing board.
Yeah. And I mean, as a person who eats a lot of vegetables, maybe that's something I could do between now and our part 2, is maybe I'll track the rest of my day. Now that I know, what'd you say that was? 7
4.
grams? 4 grams.
4 grams.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can, what the rest of my day looks like on a regular day. Cause I do eat mostly vegetarian, but a lot of veggies, a lot of beans. And I know beans have tons of
Beans
fiber.
are really
And
good.
you know what else beans
But
do
if you're
for
only
you?
eating a quarter of a cup of beans, because if you're trying to balance the carbs on the other side, which is, and that's the challenge. Yeah, they're high in fiber, but you only eat a quarter of a cup because it gets, I just find it really super challenging to not have a ton of calories, but meet the protein, carb, and fiber goals I'm shooting for in any real way. Like, I just find I have never been able to figure it out, ever.
And I think you're not alone. I think this is a really common thing. And I'm guessing people who are listening are going, yes, this is like, how are you supposed to do this with a normal diet?
And a normal life, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just, yeah. So
Yeah.
the frustration is real. And again, for me, like, I don't have any diet issues. Like, there's nothing screaming out like, Michelle, you need more fiber because you can't poop. Like, that is not happening in my life. Like, I am pooping just fine. So why do I need to go out and eat a lot more fiber? Like, I don't, those are sort of the questions I have. Like,
Yeah, and I'm totally gonna butcher this. So again, I'm not even gonna like spout off any like true research information, but there is definitely stuff out there as far as um colon cancer and other diseases. Again, not gonna put stuff out there just because I don't have all the information, but as far as intake of fiber and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I've heard that
So
too.
even if like you are quote unquote regular, like there are other health benefits to it than just,
yeah.
Right.
not
just pooping.
Yes. Just pooping.
just that. Yeah.
Maybe at the beginning of this episode, there should be a disclaimer. We will be discussing poop.
Pooping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like all the other old
So,
people out there, because that's
Yeah.
all
But
old
let's
people
face
talk
it,
about.
people think of poop when you talk about gut health. That's kind of the
Yes.
first thing you think of, and when you talk about fiber.
Yes, right?
But it's so much deeper than that. So, no, well, I don't know if I should say no pun intended for that, but so the other side of all this that I keep seeing a lot of stuff about is, and it's probably because of the space I operate from, which is like wellness and mental health and stress relief, and that you could do all the right things for your gut when it comes to your diet, but if you're not managing your stress appropriately, then your gut health's down the tubes. And so, yeah, so now what do you do then? You're screwed. So it's like, so, okay, now we got to eat all our fruits and vegetables and make sure we're getting all the fiber, but we also have to be taking care of our wellness, which we just discussed in a previous episode, making sure that we're stress-free. And who's really stress-free in today's world? Not many people can claim that. But then you hear all this stuff about like what things like cortisol and how it affects your microbiome and how it affects your intestinal lining, and it causes all these issues with gut. Like how many advertisements like on TV, which, I don't watch a ton of TV, but the little TV I watch, everything, it seems to me, is a drug trying to cure some problem. And a lot of it is like IBS and all these like gut kind of things. A lot of it seems to be that right now. And I don't know why. It's maybe because everybody's stressed out.
Maybe.
Yeah. So that's another thing I'm really curious about. And when reading this book, I know we should probably throw out the books that we want to use in part 2.
Yep.
So there were 2 books and then a Netflix documentary that Amy's person that Amy likes to follow.
Yeah.
You guys correct me if this is wrong. So there's one called The Mind Gut Connection.
That's a book, right, Aim?
Yep.
It's a book.
Yeah.
Who's that by?
Emran Mayer, Emeran. Last name is Mayer, MD. And then there's this Fiber Fuel book. And this guy actually, this Dr. B, because no one can pronounce his last name, he does a fair bit of stuff like on podcasts and social and stuff like that too.
Okay, and that one's called Fiber Fueled.
Yep.
And then you like E.C. Stankowski.
Yeah, E.C. Stankowski.
Stankowski.
From Optimize Me Nutrition. Words are hard tonight. And she has some stuff. She's the one that I heard. I haven't watched it or really honestly had heard anything about it until I was listening to one of her podcasts. It's a Netflix documentary called Hack Your Health, Secrets of Your Gut. So I think that's one of the things that we want to watch before.
Yeah. So we're trying to keep it simple and narrow it down and not get so caught up in all the like what's hot and what's not. And
well, it kind of goes back to my thing. Pick 3 sources. So we've picked 3 sources, and that's what we're going to look at.
Yes. And
Right.
Michelle, you kind of brought up something interesting earlier that I was going to see if you could chat about for a minute too, chatter about, um,
Chatter, chatter,
about how,
monkey.
like, why is it that we always use phrases like, listen to your gut, or
Oh,
I feel it in my gut. Like,
yeah.
let's go there. Like, what's that connection about?
So that, when we were going to talk about gut, because I'm not the sciencey monkey, like, and, and nutrition's not um, my happy place. Like, I don't, my first thought was more around what is that? Why do we always say, trust your gut or link gut to intuition? And I couldn't find, I started looking around, so I'm excited to have more time to bring something back that might be more interesting. But I couldn't find anything that was really linked the two, like intuition and gut health in a real way. Other than sort of the surface things that like we all kind of know, like, if you're, let's say public speaking's a thing for folks. And so before you get up and speak in public, you might have an upset stomach or feel a little nauseous or get butterflies, be a little anxious. So I think that's something that's pretty common. I know when when I used to event as a rider, oh my gosh, like talk about digestive upset. Like before I would get on, I'm like, where is the outhouse? Because I need to go. I need a
Outhouse.
yeah, outhouse or porta
But
john.
I
Like
was
you're in an
like,
event, like
my
you're
goodness.
you're
Yeah,
like
that's
looking for
how races are too. Like,
yeah, like you're
you,
going for
there's
it doesn't matter. I
lines for
just
porta
need
potties.
something with like a yeah. So so I get sort of that kind of basic connection. What I was more interested in is you know, the research around your gut sort of being your second brain. And,
Mm,
I didn't really know that your gut has its own nervous system called the enteric nervous system. And then that, leads into the whole vagus nerve conversation and all of that. So I'd like to dig into that a little bit more and really understand how that might be impacting your ability to make good decisions, which sort of leads back to the decision fatigue conversation we had a few episodes ago. Like, if you're more aware of how your gut responds when you make good decisions, then can that really help you make better decisions?
mm,
Like if you can tune into that, like, oh, I'm trying to decide between X and Y, my gut feels this way, and why that's happening. Like, I just I f there's gotta be more to it, like, I bet you the history of it or the mythology of it or how it's sort of come along, I bet you there's some really interesting stuff in there. Probably a lot of it myth and just stories kind of passed down, but there seems to be enough science there, like, where it's all connected, right? Your gut, your heart, and your immune system.
I was just going to say
Yeah,
about the immune system. Like, that's something we haven't talked about at all. And we
oh, that's
certainly
a good
know that,
one.
like, 70 roughly percent of your immune system is
yeah,
in your gut.
Is in your gut. Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
anyway, that I just find that all. So I'm excited to look at that mind gut connection book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, yeah. There's just that fascinates me, like how that might be impacting. Um, how we make decisions and trusting ourselves more, right? We tend to lean so heavy on data and override our own, like, we know, man, sometimes you're like, I'm not getting in that elevator.
yeah.
Like,
Well, you're right. It's like sometimes we overanalyze and use our brains more than we use like
or
our
real, yeah,
yeah, like our instincts,
yeah,
And if you think about it, you're right. You have instinctual cues that you receive from your outside world sometimes where you think, okay, this is unsafe, or, I need to do something different, or this is not a place I want to be. It's
Yeah.
just, it's just that we've kind of been taught to like look past those. And this is kind of stepping into the woo woo. Imagine that. Um,
Yay, Lara.
Imagine Lara going woo woo.
But it brings to me, it signifies the whole spiritual side of ourselves, which is our chakra system, which is our energetic center, which there is science behind that. There are energy fields in our bodies. And the one that's associated with the gut is the solar plexus, which is also known as like our power center. So when we feel out of control, when we are not feeling like we can do as we please, those are stressful situations that affects our gut. That's our solar plexus. So maybe there's something to that whole like butterflies, like when you're nervous because you feel a little out of control maybe or something. And again, like there's very little, if any, actual science on that. But I have found the more you tune in and try to listen to your intuition, or as we call it our gut, you do make decisions from a different place sometimes, and you also get better at identifying what's a good decision and what's not going to be a good decision. It's kind of like it takes practice. Like you want to have the analytical part there, but you don't want to 100% rely on that, because sometimes you talk yourself out of what you really deep down feel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So that'll be that's what I'm gonna try and bring back to our next part 2, is see what else is out there that links the two. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the whole stress angle. So from personal experience, when I was young, and I mean, this is probably going back to like middle school, like, junior high days, and even into early high school, I had what like a lot of people would have called back then a nervous stomach. Like I got car sick really easily. Whenever I was in a stressful situation, I would get sick to my stomach. And it got to the point where it was so bad that I couldn't do things. I couldn't go on, play dates or whatever. I couldn't go hang out with friends. Like I was working myself up to the point where like I couldn't do it. I was going to throw up or, not have diarrhea. That did not happen, thankfully, but the throwing up was like terrifying to me. And I think, I don't even remember, but there may have been like one incidence maybe where I did throw up, and it was at a party or who knows what when I was young. But my mom, thankfully, and probably my dad too, but moms and daughters are just, I remember mom being the one saying like, hey, I have she said it was a friend, it was a counselor basically. And, she was a therapist basically. And she taught me basically taught me a form of mindfulness. Now that I'm looking back on that, I haven't really thought about this in years. So it's really interesting. But she would say like, and she'd have me practice when I was just riding in a car, whenever I would start to feel a little bit, because once you feel it, then you're focusing on it 100%, and then you get sick. So it was kind of a mind over matter thing though, honestly, because she did teach me all of these visualization exercises and mindfulness exercises that then eventually helped me overcome it. And it's kind of amazing. Yeah, because it was bad. Like in the beginning of high school, it was keeping me from going on dates. Like I was like, nope, I'm not going out on a date because I was worried about getting.
I'll throw up on this.
That may not have been a bad thing.
Yeah, my dad was probably like, why are you taking her to counseling?
Yeah. Right?
Just let her keep playing with her horses.
That sounds so much safer.
Yeah, but she had me do visualizations while I was in the car. Like she had me like go to my happy place, and it was really interesting like back then. And so again, it relates to, like you said, Michelle, the vagus nerve, all that stuff is involved when you're practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques. She had me doing body scans.
I love
way
it.
back then. I mean, this would have been in the early or late 70s. So
Wow.
yeah, interesting.
I love that. That is such a cool story.
Yeah, I
I'm
wonder where
sorry
she
you
is
were sick.
today. She was a good therapist.
Yeah, that's really, you know, yeah, yeah. Things that we know to do. It's nothing, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Like,
Oh, right. Yeah.
you know, like, yeah. Anyway.
Hmm.
Well, and also, so I just have to throw this out there since we did talk about poop, but I do recall watching some show about gut health, and I don't think it's the one that we're going to watch on Netflix. This was several years ago. And there is this thing. This is for extreme cases where the bacteria has been wiped out of their gut and they are just so sick.
I know what
Are you going with
You know what I'm going to
a
say?
fecal transplant?
Yeah.
Yes. There's a thing called a fecal. I'm glad I was going to say poop transplant, but
Oh,
it's a fecal.
fecal transplant.
And they literally take it from a healthy person's poo.
Mm-hmm.
And when I remember hearing about that, and I just could not get over it. I was like, what? Like
Yeah.
but it's very interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to say that it's super common, but I don't think it's like uncommon anymore. Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
Do you think,
I think
so
as we
here's a
learn more.
question. That's interesting, Amy. Like the fact, wow. If you think
Okay.
about that, the fact that we could so mess up our because our bodies they're pretty good on their own,
Yeah.
right? Like if you left to their own devices and not fed crap and sorry,
Yeah.
not fed bad food.
Well,
I mean,
no, so
well,
believe
we
it or
mess it
not,
up, right? We mess it up so badly that
I
it's
think some
completely
of
dysfunctional. Like,
yeah.
well, I think
I
some of
think
these are medical
yeah, I was gonna
conditions.
say I don't think this is like somebody eating like a box of tricks for breakfast and
no.
a Pop-Tart for lunch. I think this is like a lot of the stories that I've heard with people doing this is a medical or have been
Yeah.
on like crazy stupid doses of antibiotics and have just
Okay.
like kind of wrecked their system or
Yeah,
whatever.
and they just
So
couldn't get it back by normal means. And
yeah.
and then I believe this is going to really gross us all out, but there also are places that you can, like, they put it in a capsule.
Caps. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't.
But
Sorry.
quite honestly, wouldn't you rather just have it in a capsule than
Yes, if I had to do
Okay.
it, but what if
yeah.
you burped?
Oh God, Lara. Oh,
I'm sorry. I just can't.
that
Like,
was
I
really
am
bad.
very squeamish.
I'm sure they probably do something to it.
I mean, I
Maybe.
can take
Many
fish oil
thoughts
tab.
going through my head
Yeah,
right now.
fish oil capsules don't bother me. I'd
Ugh.
rather
Yeah.
go the other end. I'm sorry.
And
Just tell me it's a probiotic and be done with it.
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly.
I don't need to know what this is, right?
Yeah, well, I don't think those people could even do that. That wouldn't even work for them. That's how far
Yeah.
gone their systems were.
But you could lie to
There-
them and just
there is,
say you're taking probiotics.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
This
lie
little
to
brown
them.
probiotic.
Yes,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. Put a little coloring in it.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Not to poke fun at all, because I
Ugh.
know.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Wait,
There is a I think it's
also
called
ew.
the Bristol stool chart. Like
Oh
there
yeah, I've
is
seen that.
yeah, there is like really a chart of like
And what
you
they
are-
if you're-
eat and
if your
just
poo
saw
looks
it
like
somewhere.
this.
Where did I
Mhm.
see it? I literally just
I
saw
don't know.
it. Like
Yeah.
What's it
within the
called? The
last few
Bristol?
days.
I think
Poo
it's the
chart?
Bristol stool chart.
Oh, stool.
Bristol
I thought you said
stool.
poo.
No.
Like, no.
Bristol stool.
I just
Chart.
saw
And it
that
has
somewhere. What the heck was I
pictures
I've
and
reading?
stuff.
seen them before,
Yeah.
just in reading stuff, but I didn't know it was called that. But
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. But
Yeah.
yeah,
you are
and it'll be
supposed
like
to look at it. You're
yeah.
supposed to check it out and make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're on this subject, I'm gonna give everyone
Sorry,
a
everybody.
new.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Come
give
on, Amy.
everybody a new saying for when they're having dinner with their friends and family.
Okay.
I say this every time. If you have, it is called the Bristol stool chart. Yeah, Bristol stool STOOL chart, and there's it's described sausage share with cracks. Sausage share with cracks.
I think they mean shape. Is it a
I don't know. Maybe that's a typo on
I
here.
think that's a typo.
Yeah.
Sausage shape with cracks.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be shape. Yeah.
Who we're
I think-
definitely going to have to put a warning label on this episode.
I know. This one's like a smooth, soft sausage or snake.
Oh my Lord.
Good descriptors. Separate hard lumps like nuts.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good, right? We know that from horses.
Anyway, yeah, so my favorite saying when I'm having dinner with my family is if you're having corn, I'll like look at the plate, I'll be like, what do you say before you eat your corn? See you soon.
Whoa.
So you will never
Not right.
look at corn the same again. So yeah, we
Nearly.
literally just last week I was at my dad's and we had corn and I was like, what do you say? See you soon.
Okay, but if you chew the corn up really, really good, that doesn't happen, right? I mean, with food, I just think to myself, why am I not chewing my food?
Because we're in a hurry and we're stressed.
Right? Yeah, would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to chew it up. But you're right, we don't.
How much? Who's chewing? I mean, that's a lot of.
That's a lot.
There's some good fiber you're missing out on if you're not doing it up. Because it's going straight through.
Wow, we have
definitely gone down
deteriorated
the actual
rapidly.
gutter,
Diverted.
the literal gutter. Or
Yeah.
literal sewer, maybe is a better term. But
Yeah.
well, but you know what? Why are we so squeamish? Let's face it. Like, we pick our dog's poo up with a bag, a very thin piece of plastic between our palm and the poo itself, and you can feel it, and it's warm.
Oh, I am. So when I do that, I am taking all the dirt and grass and anything possible around it. Like there is so much in there. Ugh.
Do it, and then think if you have cats, you're looking at it, you're scooping it up. They even sell cat litter that changes colors depending on your cat's health. But we can't even look at our own.
I know, isn't that interesting?
We need to get.
I can definitely talk about poop.
I mean, I can talk about it, but most people are like, "Oh no."
As you age, like that's all you talk about.
Yes,
that is true. I have girlfriends my age and older.
Yeah,
right. Like all you talk about is your health.
And also, I will say, I mean, like it sounds like the three of us are regular, and I count us among the luckies because so many people are not.
I'm always shocked when people are like, I'm like, okay, I'm just not going to say anything because that is not my issue, and I think that's why it scared me so much after I had that hardware taken out of my leg.
Oh, yeah.
And it scared me so much. I was like, okay, this cannot continue. Like I was freaked out. And I was like, okay, somebody needs to help me sort this out, and the doctors were just like, oh, just take some Colace or whatever. I'm like, no. Like that is not working. Like clearly something has happened in my gut. And that was when I was like, all right, well, she wants me to take these, it's like a probiotic, prebiotic, you mix it up in water, you drink it before. And that stuff really worked. Like it took a while though. It took a good, I'd say a couple of months.
Wow.
For everything to sort of like
go back.
And I was really consistent with it. That, and I also started drinking a kombucha every day.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a good point to bring up because so I was given some direction by my doctor several months ago because I was having I felt like it was abdominal pressure.
I remember
and
you
pain.
talking about this.
Yeah. And I was a little bit worried that I was starting to have a bit of a hernia. And she said that there wasn't an actual hernia, but she could feel where like the muscle wall was weakened because I've had a C-section. And so she directed me to do a couple things. She said, number one, pelvic floor strengthening. Number two, she recommended that I do a cleanse at home because she said sometimes even if you're going regularly, there's residue that doesn't get flushed out of the system. And over time it builds up. And I'm like, but I'm super regular. She's like, well, I'm just You can try it. It's not going to hurt anything. And she said, you do it. It's just the same stuff you drink for a colonoscopy, but not as much. And then you reset your gut, so to speak. And she said, she sent me actually like a list, but you do use things like kombucha, or like kimchi is another one, like naturally
Like
fermented foods,
Sauerkraut.
lots of fiber,
Yeah.
sauerkraut. Yeah. So that was what the recommendation was. And I have to say, I felt really good after I did that. So good that I was like, maybe I should do this once a month. But then I did some reading, and it's not really recommended that you flush your gut out once a month.
Yeah.
Not at all. Don't do it.
Don't do that. Yeah.
But like maybe once a year, I mean, I really did. I think it did help. I think that might have been part of the problem. But then also strengthening the pelvic floor is always good as you age, menopausal women especially. But yeah, so those cases, I feel like probiotics and fermented foods and things like that are helpful for people. But once you're regular and you've got things,
You should be good to,
you shouldn't need to constantly be doing that. The fiber is enough, right?
Right, Amy? Just eat your fiber.
Now, if we can only figure out how to get, how many are we supposed to have? How much fiber a day?
For females, it's around 25 grams.
Yeah. Okay. 25 to 30, I think is like a target.
All right. 25 grams of fiber.
It's a lot.
I'm going to be watching that over the next couple of weeks.
I'm going to put some stuff together because it really isn't. Like, because I definitely don't really have an issue doing that. Like,
well, what do you?
I don't have a problem with it, honestly. I don't think I do, but I'm curious to see if I really do hit the mark or not.
Yeah, like
where does most of your fiber come from, Aim?
So like beans, like Lara said, beans, edamame, some nuts and then I'll do like chia or flax. I'll do that. Like I do an overnight oats. So like between the oats, the chia, and the flax in there, and then if you add a little bit of like walnuts or something, like it gets. I'll have to look and see because I don't have the numbers memorized. But
when we come back for part 2.
Yeah, I think if you like,
So I'm going to track my fiber.
Yeah.
Between now and part 2, I think that'll be interesting and kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll probably encourage me to eat even more fiber. I think I do eat a lot of fiber, but like I said, I don't really know. I'm not really tracking it. I'm regular, and that makes me happy. But
yeah, I have mine. I haven't looked back at mine because I don't like always pay attention to it by any stretch. Again, I don't always pay attention to anything all the time, for sure.
Yeah, you can make you crazy.
Oh yeah. But like I have mine set at 25, and it's usually
pretty close,
very doable. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here we thought we weren't going to be able to talk very much about this subject.
We're like, it'll be like a half an hour. It'll be a short one.
Well, all right. So we all have our assignments, right?
I know.
Right.
We got to read our books, watch our documentary, and
check our fiber.
See what we come up with. We'll let you guys know. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Come back for part 2.
Yeah, part 2 next.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we should
probably learned way more about our bathroom habits than they ever wanted to know.
Red flag.
Yeah, I know. We gotta put a warning. There's like
warning label.
Can you put like explicit on that title?
I don't know. Poop isn't technically explicit. It's
and we shouldn't be so ashamed of it. Like I said, we deal with our animals, dogs poop and horse poop and.
Oh, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody does.
I have to tell you guys, again, way too much info, but like, I will be 47 in a few short weeks, and I still have
October.
Yeah, I've never in my life changed a poopy diaper.
Oh, I babysat.
Well, I did not.
You're missing much there. You're just not.
I'm good with it. Yeah.
I think maybe that's why I don't have any kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not my thing.
Yeah,
Good
that
to know,
wasn't
Amy.
fun. I changed
Mm.
several, and yeah,
Mm.
they were.
Well, you had kids, so I hope so.
Yeah, right.
I
So
mean, when
I
they
don't.
when they started eating solid foods, that's when the poop gets bad.
Oh,
Up until then, it's not bad.
Ugh.
so they're both like, ugh.
Yeah, right? Oh,
Yuck.
yeah,
Yep.
let's wrap this up. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, are we gonna do our sign off?
Yeah, count us
All right,
down.
everybody,
Alright.
we'll count you down. Ready? 1.
Monkey
Monkey
chatter,
chatter,
monkey
monkey
chatter.
chatter.
Who
Who
you
you
hang
hang
with
with
matters.
last?
Come on, people.
I was trying to follow Lara's lips.
And I
And
was
Michelle was
following
like, go
yours
along.
with yours.
Come on, come
And
on.
I was trying to go with your counting. Your 1, 2, 3. That one didn't go well.
I'm just glad we're hanging out with you guys.
Thanks for listening to Monkey Chatter today. As a reminder, we want to let you know that while we think we are really smart, none of us are doctors or medical professionals. So anything that we say or suggest on this podcast should be run by your doctor before you make any major lifestyle, nutrition, or medication changes. Take care and be well, friends.